Welcome to University of Phoenix Stadium, where the Cardinals have just lost their 7th straight game for the second time in 3 seasons now under head coach Kemp, and it was a pretty lackluster performance. 4 interceptions by Ryan Lindley. What is it for you? What is there to take out from this game for you?
Yeah, actually, I thought the first half they played it pretty well. It looked like a real football team out there. The tempo was very good on offense. Lindley threw the ball. He was hitting receivers in stride. I was also shocked in the first half and talked to a couple of our colleagues at halftime that we were stunned that the Rams didn't put more pressure on the first half, which they did in the second half.
Yeah.
Possibly they thought because of the 9 sacks in the previous game that they didn't have to send linebackers, but they definitely changed things up in the second half, and the offensive line or Lindley or a combination of both didn't adjust, and there were a couple plays that I don't know if they were audibles at the line of scrimmage. One ended up in an interception. Obviously, Fitzgerald and Lindley didn't have the same play in mind, and it just all fell apart. And I think when you have a team that's spiraling like this, things are going okay, then it's not bad. When things start going badly, they go even worse.
Yeah, they go south in a hurry. There was a lone bright spot, as you mentioned, in the first half. Beanie Wells returned, finding the end zone twice, and he looked pretty sharp.
Well, at first I think he's in much better shape. As soon as we saw him in camp, I thought he was overweight, and then he couldn't move. I mean, he was obviously affected by the knee, even though I guess the unofficial microfracture surgery, which maybe he didn't or didn't have. But I didn't think he looked good at any point when he was playing before he had the toe injury. But he's clearly slimmer than he was then. And I could just even tell in warm-ups that he looked a lot better. That's the first I'd seen him since they have practiced during my show, so I can't exactly. They need to change that bit. But it's the first I've seen. I thought he looked really good. He looked a lot like he did last year before they played St. Louis when he suffered that knee injury.
So now 4-7, heading into December, the last part of the season, last quarter of the season. What should we expect from this Cardinals team? What to look for as the season comes to disappointing end?
A showdown with the Jets. That's the first thing, huh? I don't know. I shouldn't say it's impossible, but I already got an email during the game. Is it possible to lose 12 games in a row to end the season? That's really hard to do in this league because this league isn't very good. I don't think they can pull that off. But I think the Wiz was asked whether it's in one shape or form, some shape or form, whether there's time to start looking around. I think they've already kind of done that quietly with the Lindley insertion, and Bethel was in there today playing a little defense. He really got burned for a big play. So I kind of think the experimentation has begun, even though they're not going to officially tell you.
Now, last point before we wrap this up, a lot of the chatter, of course, following this is going to be on Wiznow's job security. Where do you think he stands right now and looking past this season?
I would be very surprised if he were let go at the end of the season. I'd be really, really surprised. However, I think it's entirely possible or highly likely that there are coaching staff changes, whether that's Mike Miller, Russ Grimm. I think those are the first 2 people to look at this point. But I wouldn't even have a problem if I mentioned even a couple of weeks ago, if they took the play calling duties away now from Miller and tried something else the rest of the season.
All right, we'll wrap it up here from University of Phoenix Stadium. Final score, Rams 31, Cardinals 17. We'll have more post-game analysis and sound and all that stuff. Plus, from the Territorial Cup, we were both down in Tucson. You'll hear from both sides.
Most of the 11 o'clock hour tomorrow.
Yes, the winning side ASU and the losing side U of A. And I'm sure we'll talk about your Buckeyes and my Irish as well at some point on Monday.
Briefly.
Yeah, more on Tuesday?
No, we got a month to talk about the Irish. We've got a year to talk about the Buckeyes.
For Bob Kemp, I'm Rich Gray. This has been another video blog on thefan1060.com.